And what's up, guys? Welcome back to another awesome episode. So I've been getting some comments on my previous archery videos. Some of you guys have been saying that my draw length is a little bit too long. Some guys are saying a ½ inch, and some of you guys are saying an inch. So it's come to a concern to me because of the amount of comments saying kind of the same thing. So the plan today is to take my Mathews V3-27. I'm here at Texas Archery, and I'm going to talk with Raymond, the bow tech, the bow geek, to see if we can rectify the situation. If your draw length is off, you're not going to do your tight groupings, and when a time comes when you are at that situation when you're about to kill an animal, you know, you want your bow running efficiently. So that's why I'm here to visit Raymond. So yeah, let's see what we can do today.
So first order of business, what I'm going to do is measure your wingspan. You're going to put your arms wide out.
Okay.
I'm going to divide it by 2.5, and that's going to give us a good starting point. From there, we can micro tune with loop length and things of that nature just to get it dialed in and absolutely perfect.
Sounds good. So question about that wingspan thing. Is that the proper way to do it?
So there's other ways you can do it.
Okay.
You can actually find, you know, a wall, hold your arm out like this and measure. Here at Texas Archery, we do wingspan divided by 2.5, and that usually is a great rule of thumb to start out at.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds cool, man. Let's do it. Because a lot, like I said, man, before we started filming, a lot of guys are saying that my draw length is too long,
so that's what we're here
I
today
don't know,
to do.
man.
Is
It feels
check
good. It
out.
feels comfortable to me, but let's make
Yeah,
sure.
we're gonna put tape on you, see what you come out to, and then fine tune it from there. All right, so just put your arm straight out, just like this. I'm gonna come behind you, and we're gonna go middle finger to middle finger. And what I don't want you to do is like kind of hyperextend your arms.
Don't hyperextend. Okay.
Yeah. So what I want is the tape to come down, so bring both of these arms down just a touch, and then just a tad forward towards the. There you go, just like that. So right now I'm getting about 68.25. So I'm gonna have you go ahead and relax, and then we're gonna do the math. All right, so I'm taking 68.25. We're gonna divide it by 2.5, and that gets us 27.3. So what I always generally do is go on the shorter side of things. So in this case, like I see right now, this bow's got an E-mod on it, and it's a 27. It's a V3-27, so it has a 27.5 inch draw. What's coming up on the tape is actually, that is a tad long. So before I change anything, we're gonna go look at it because this is just a great starting point. From here, we can change it if we need to, but let's go in the tuner room and check it out.
I'm gonna be using the shop arrow, and we're gonna make sure the draw length is.
And we're doing like very, very minute adjustments here. So,
Okay.
you know, a lot of times you can't really see this. It's more of a feel thing or a preference.
Gotcha. Right. Okay, here we go.
So before you shoot, what I want you to do, see how you've got a slight bend in this elbow here? So without twisting your forearm or putting you in a bind, basically, and keep this hand nice and relaxed, give it the bow a good push towards the target. And what I want to do is see if anything changes here. So are you fully extended there, locked out?
No.
Okay, go ahead and do that for me. Just
locked out?
Yep, there you go. Okay, so right there. Now, I'm probably gonna have you roll your elbow just a little bit towards the wall, so do that motion. There you go, just like that. Okay, so for right now, go ahead and shoot this, and then we're gonna come back and talk about a few things. There you go. Felt different locking out your arm,
It does, yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I said that is generally like if you're bent here and you go to push forward and this arm sucks forward, you're too short because there's some slack in there that you're making up for here. When you push forward, nothing changed here. So it told me that your draw length's pretty good. We may change it a little bit. But also too, if you can keep this forearm completely locked out, you're not relying on any muscles to hold the bow steady. Right now, when you've got a little bend, everything's in your bicep, everything here.
Interesting.
So, you know, you don't want to rely on muscle, you want to rely on bone. Bone to bone is going to be stronger than muscle all day long. So it feels weird, trust me, especially for a hunter, you know, there's going to be times where you can't do that. But from a target side of the world, you know, we like to keep that form, just locked as much as you possibly can. A slight bend is okay. I mean, once again, this is all personal preference. I mean, you're just doing whatever, you know, shoot a group one way and shoot a group another way and see what you find and just run with that. Unsteady like that, but over time it does get better. He's one right there that does it bad.
What's that?
Keeps a really bad bend in your forearm, or not really bad, but you know, an exaggerated bend. But this guy's won state more than a lot of people I know, so I wouldn't just, you know, take that.
It's all what you do every time. You got to do it even it's wrong.
Consistent, right?
Even it's wrong.
It's like golf, right?
Every
You
time.
have a bad swing,
if you do it
but
wrong,
you
just do it right
hit the
every
ball
time.
the right
That's
place.
Jim Furyk.
You're
That's
good,
Jim
right?
Furyk.
Yep, he's absolutely right. Like I said, as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter right or wrong. It really doesn't. Let's do one more. Ultimately, you want 2 anchor points. You want knuckles at the back of the jawbone, and you want the string on the nose.
So,
That's
okay,
what we're
that's a
looking
good
for.
thing because I have an Asian nose, man. My nose is not as big as some Americans, right?
Yep.
It's pretty small. So, with the 27 being shorter,
That actually
the
kind of hurts you a
angle.
little bit.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and that's what I've been
so-
trying to tell people.
Yeah,
But,
so
so how do
the-
we work that?
The shorter the bow is, the steeper the string angle is going to be. And that's where you may shoot a little longer draw length on this bow just because it is a little shorter than, say the Hoyt 33 that we may end up getting.
Yeah.
So, exactly. Basically, the shorter the bow is, the steeper it is, and you may have to extend the draw length just a little bit or play with different loop lengths to control that as well.
I see.
So when you're all the way back, and it's sometimes hard with these hand releases because you can't really see where you're anchoring because obviously your hand's blocking it.
Right.
But if this is the back of your jawbone, are you locking in first and second knuckle?
Yeah, like right there.
Okay, that's how I just want to make sure. It
I'm
looked
locking
you
like
were
right here.
Yep, that's perfect. It looked
That's
like you
exact-
were. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Once you lock in there, and it looks like you are getting to the tip of your nose.
I
It's
am?
just
Okay.
a little bit more of a struggle for you on this bow because the length is 27-inch bow.
Right, and the steep angle. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. All right, man. So you wanted to get behind me and
Yes,
see my.
So right now
or
I'm standing
something?
behind you,
Okay.
and it's another way, and I actually kind of use this more often than not. So I stand behind the shooter, and you look at where the elbow is in relation to the string.
Okay.
And if you're caved in, then it's too short. If you're over,
Gotcha.
kind of wrapped around the back of your head, it's too long.
All right, here we go.
So that's what we're looking at right now. And that's looking pretty good. And fire whenever you're ready. It looked really good, actually. Really good. After watching you shoot a little bit out there, a couple different shots from different angles, what we're going to attempt to do first is we're going to lengthen the D loop just a little bit and take it from there and do a couple more shots at full draw and see from different angles what it looks like.
So we are kind of going backwards. You say it might be a little bit short.
Yep.
And the internet's saying that it's a little bit
Yep.
too long. So what's the correct answer, dude?
So
I'm
right now I'm
confused.
leaning with a little short.
Really?
The reason why is because of the length of the bow, but also too when you were shooting it first,
Mm-hmm.
you had this arm bent pretty, I wouldn't say dramatic, but it was enough to get my attention. When you pushed it out and we looked from the back where your elbow was into correlation to the string, you're caved in this way, which is a telltale sign it's too short. So that's ultimately what led me to lengthen this just a little bit.
Interesting.
So what I'm doing now is just burning the nail head for the end of the D loop. And it's important here that you don't just smash it all at once because then you don't really get a shoulder on the nail head. So we're just doing a little bit at a time. All right, so what I'm doing now is just making me a little reference mark because we've paper tuned this bow last time, so that's the last thing we want to do is change the height of the D loop, whether it's raise it or lower. We don't want to do any of that, so that's just a little reference so I can put it right back to where it was and get everything back leveled out. So after we've cut off this loop, what I'm looking at now, and this is very, very common, you get this separation right here in your serving, and we just call it serving separation. So over time, after hundreds if not thousands of shots, your D loop will slowly just travel uphill and it raises the back of that arrow. And if one day you're shooting and everything's great, and the next day you take your bow out and all of a sudden you're hitting a couple inches low, this is most likely the culprit, is that serving slipped up on you and always travels uphill. So and if it goes up, you're going to hit low. So what we've got is these cool little round bell pliers. I'm going to use these because there's no sharp edges on them to tighten everything back up and cinch it back together so that separation won't be a big deal for us anymore.
So you're saying I practice a lot?
Yes, that's a good thing. Anytime that loop changes color and starts turning white, you've got some arrows downrange, and that's what these things are built to do.
Okay, look at the separation, ladies and gentlemen. This shows you how much I've been practicing. Right here, that separation. Raymond says it's because I've been throwing some arrows downrange, and
Yep.
that's the truth.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
quite a
separation.
bit. So now that we're towards the end, I'm actually gonna, instead of just forcing it, I'm actually gonna redo that knot so it stays tighter.
So another good question is, how often should I be changing out, my strings?
If you shoot a lot, I mean, when I actually used to shoot a lot, I could blow through a string in 6 months, but that is thousands upon thousands of arrows. Most of the time, our average customer replaces them about every 3 to 4 years. You know, especially if they don't use them year round. They only use them during deer season and put them up and kind of just leave them there until the next year. If that's the case, you can definitely get a little bit longer out of a string.
Look, for me, it looks like maybe a year, huh?
Yeah, you'll definitely at least get another year out of this one. It's in pretty good shape, minus the serving separation. You always want to look down here at these cables too and see if there's any serving separation where the cam makes that radical bend right here at the mod point. That's another spot to watch, but these actually look really good. It was mainly in the center serving on this one.
All right, we got the new D-loop. This is going to be the first step into making the draw length appropriate.
Yep.
Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, so what we did is just lengthen that loop just a little bit. From here, if we need any more, we're not going to do it modular because that would be too big of an adjustment. What we're actually going to do is put the bow in the press and maybe do a couple twists on each cable equally so we don't change the timing. But when we put a couple twists in the cables, we're actually going to increase the draw length just a little bit because that's all we need, and it's actually going to increase your draw poundage just a little bit too. Don't forget to kind of give that forearm a push.
Okay.
Yeah, not over exaggerated, just enough to keep it straight.
Yeah, I can tell it's a
And
little
also
bit
too,
longer.
when you do that, you got to make sure you kind of roll that forearm out too, because especially if you've got some bigger forearms, that string will pop you. You know, if you're not careful.
All right, here we go.
There you go. Just give that target a good push. How'd that feel?
I felt,
good?
yeah, I felt little.
You're not going to notice anything.
I mean, I can feel a little bit of stretching, but that's because I was like this more before.
Yeah.
But now I'm like a little bit more like out.
And draw length is just one of those things that we talked about 100 times earlier. It's more by feel. I mean, the tape gets as a starting point. From there, you just micro tune it until you get to where you're comfortable.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we're doing.
Good deal.
All right. So this time I'm actually going to look. So give that. There you go. Push it out, and then see now, from when I'm standing behind you, your elbow. And the camera probably can't pick up on this, but is directly behind the string. That's the length we were looking for. Fire. That looks
good.
I like that length a lot. We don't have to twist the cables. We really don't need to. It looked great. That just added a little bit of loop length, gave us everything we needed.
Okay. What can I say? You guys said it was short, too long, but he actually said it was long enough. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
There you go. And the real test would be after you start, shooting it, get some arrows more and more downrange, and go from there. You saw how easy it was to change. If we need to change it, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, those arrows right there will kill.
you good mojo? Because I'm gonna take these to your property and we're gonna kill a javelina. I never seen a javelina in my life. Only on the YouTube.
Well, you want to be in the stand for sure when one comes out. they're a little bit not friendly.
Just tell me when you want me to come and the audience will want to see it.
Alrighty.
All right, so Raymond, so what's up, bro? So just quick question, I don't know, maybe you can educate me. So now that we have a new D-loop here and that it is a little bit longer.
There you go.
Do we need to retune this bow? Is it going to be off or
no? We didn't really change anything other than loop length. That's not really going to change the way the bow tunes or shoot. Believe it or not, it actually can control your left and right impact just a little bit. Just for the heck of it, since you're here, we might as well shoot it through paper and see what it does. But I don't intend it change very much.
Interesting, okay. Maybe you can explain to them, perhaps maybe there was something off on some of my videos, or what do you think?
Someone can look from the side or a picture and it can fool you. I mean, draw length is just one of those things that, I can shoot anywhere from a 28 to a 29.5 inch draw length and still shoot it okay. I mean, obviously on the 29 I'm stretched out, but I could still fire it. So just because you're shooting a draw length doesn't mean it's right. But also too, the string angle of the bow. So this is a 27 inch bow. 27 inches axle to axle. It's very short. So, at a decent sized draw length, 28, worse, the higher you go, the worse it gets. You're going to have a pretty steep angle. And just because you normally shoot a 28 inch draw length on a 30 inch bow, on a 27 inch bow, you may need a little bit longer or even a little shorter. It's just one of those things you just have to feel for.
Do you think perhaps maybe my stance was a little bit off, therefore it may have looked like...
I mean, for you being a beginner, you've got this thing going pretty good. The only thing I did change on you was that front forearm. So instead of being slightly bent, we just gave you a little push towards the target. And that did everything we needed it to, in combination with the longer loop. I think it puts you right where you need to be.
So, I mean, but it still doesn't answer the question. Why do you think some of the guys commented saying that my draw length was a little bit...
I think a picture can fool you pretty bad, but really what it boils down to me I think it was the string angle of the bow. You know, because
Gotcha.
it's such a short bow. You know, a lot of people may think that a draw length is wrong for you when it may not be, just because of the string angle. It
sense.
changes things. You have to duck your head a little bit more to get to the string because it's a steep angle. And back, just like we did the first time, try and make the best shot you possibly can.
Right on.
There you go. From here, it looks like a perfect bullet hole.
Does it really?
It does. We'll do a walk up and see. If we do change it, it's not going to be by much. I'm going to call that pretty good. It's just splitting hairs at this point. I'd almost call that a perfect bullet hole.
Yeah, that looks pretty dang good, man.
I don't really think we need to improve on that. And this will tell me too. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just pull the arrow, kind of plug it up a little bit, and just see what surface area that arrow takes up. And you can see there's no elongated tears going one way or the other, or up and down. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. That looks really good. If I had something here that I could see daylight around the shaft, then there'd be something to improve on, and I'm not really seeing it there. Looking good.
We proved a point differently than what you guys thought. Y'all thought my draw length was too long.
Too long.
But it turned out to be a little bit too
Little on
short.
the short
So,
side, yeah.
I don't know,
Went
Dr.
up.
Google, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're looking for a really good bow tech, check out Raymond here at Texas Archery. I'll leave all the information down below. He's the only guy I go to tinker with my stuff. Really happy, as you guys saw, paper tune doesn't lie. Everything is working good. So, yeah, any last words, bro?
I'm good to go. I'm happy with everything.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, leave a comment. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. I have literally 300 plus videos on my channel to keep you entertained. But I love every single one of you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.